so close. But I'll keep trying. I will find a cure. I will. I love you, son.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. Today, I want to talk to you all about who might be the main antagonist in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, before we get into that, I want you all to like, comment, subscribe, and click on that bell notification so you all don't miss anything. Please do it if you think I've earned your subscription. I post videos like this about every single day. You're definitely not going to want to miss this, since I've been covering Marvel Spider-Man 2 related topics since the trailer first dropped in the PlayStation Showcase recently. Also follow me on Twitch. Link to that is in the description box below, along with the invitation link to my Discord and links to my social media. So definitely do that. Without further ado, let's get into the topic. All right. Ever since way before the trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2 dropped, people have been speculating who will be the main antagonist of Marvel Spider-Man 2. Some people have suggested Venom will be the main antagonist, especially after that recent trailer. Others think it'll be Kraven, and some probably think it'll be Green Goblin. Now, those are pretty good guesses. Some of you explained your theories in the comment section, of which I've had the joy of reading. Some of you actually came up with legitimate creative stories as to why these people can become the main antagonist. Now, before I reveal who I think the main villain will be of the story, I just want to rule out who I think won't be the main villains. I'll start with Venom. I personally think Venom won't be the main antagonist of the story, only because Insomniac Games revealed Venom so early, especially since the sequel is slated for a 2023 release. To further elaborate, you all remember when we got that little teaser Insomniac Games put out for the first Spider-Man game? The one where Peter Parker looks up and says, "You," with a little yellow light shining at his face. I couldn't find that video of that teaser, but for those of you who've been following the Marvel Spider-Man updates since the beginning, since like the first game, you would know what I'm talking about. We were led to assume Martin Lee was the main villain of the story. He did play a big role in the story, but he wasn't the main antagonist. We came to find out that Doc Ock was the main villain. The thing is, I can't help but notice a pattern here. Insomniac Games has done this before. They'll do it again. They purposely throw off their audience, and naturally people are going to assume that Venom is the main villain, which is fine because Venom is a big character. He's really popular when it comes to Spider-Man's rogues gallery. So why shouldn't we believe Venom is the main antagonist? We also did hear a sinister voice in the trailer, and we all thought that was Kraven's voice, which is pretty much confirmed at this point because it's obvious. That accent and his motives kind of give it away. I will say Kraven is also not the main antagonist of the game. However, like Martin Lee, he will most likely play a big role in the game's narrative. And the reason why I say this is pretty much the same reason why I've explained why Venom isn't the main villain. Arguably, Kraven the Hunter isn't really a big villain. I don't really think about Kraven the Hunter when it comes to thinking about the first 5 villains that come to mind if someone were to ask you to name 5 Spider-Man villains. At least that's the way I see it. Yes, Kraven the Hunter has become really popular over the last few years. He's even had his moment in the spotlight in one of Spider-Man's greatest and darkest stories of all time, Kraven's Last Hunt. Sony wants to do a Kraven movie, but to make him a main villain doesn't really fit the bill, honestly. It can be pulled off, but honestly, I think people prefer a well-known big bad of Spidey's like Carnage, Venom, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, which allows me to transition over into who I think is going to be the main villain of the sequel. I think the Green Goblin will become the main antagonist of Marvel Spider-Man 2. Like I said before, some of you crafted some great theories about Norman Osborn's descent into madness. You have to remember that Harry Osborn is the key to all of this. At least in this universe, Norman Osborn cares about his son. He loves Harry. Could you imagine his reaction if he were to lose Harry? He'd put the blame onto Spider-Man. He'd have the urge to get revenge because of, let's say, Harry's death. I'm just assuming that's the case. It makes for a really great and emotional story. Father loses son. Father blames son's best friend unknowingly since he's fighting Spider-Man. And in the climax of the battle, Norman Osborn's humanity kicks in after unmasking Spider-Man and learns that Peter Parker is in fact Spider-Man. At least Norman would probably want to listen to Peter. I'm just imagining how this would play out. Sorry for jumping the gun, but you get the point. Some of you out there suggested that the Green Goblin would be saved for a part 3, and you know what? I can understand why you'd believe that. Arguably, the Green Goblin is one of Spider-Man's greatest foes, maybe even his arch nemesis, and for something of that caliber to be saved for the best for last makes the wait worth it. Still, I do believe that Green Goblin will appear at least probably in the third act of the game. And that's my theory as to why I believe Green Goblin will be the main antagonist of Marvel Spider-Man 2. Do you agree or disagree with my theory? Comment down below with your thoughts and theories. I like to read them. Until next time, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so you all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.
Yes, we will.
PlayStation